Okay. All right. Okay. So again, welcome to our December 5th Women in Product Toastmasters Club. Today, our theme is products we love. And I'm sure we all have a long list of products that we love, and I can't wait to hear more during this meeting. And we as a group of individuals we might not all have the same level of products in common, but as a product management group, what we do have in common is building products that our customers love and figuring out what those are and how to make customers love them. So I can't wait to dive in. Let's get to it. And I would, at this time, like to introduce you to our president, Erica Tamburo.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And thank you for being SSA for today for the very first time. So that's pretty exciting. So I thought, about how to open this this meeting today. I had the question, what does it mean to love a product? So take a moment and everybody think about your favorite product, which I know you all are always thinking what's your favorite products and what you love about them. So this favorite product, why is it your favorite product? Is it something that makes your life easier? Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself? Is it something that helps you learn? Is it something that helps you feel more confident, achieve a goal? What is it about that product? We are always think about in terms of functionality, but in the end, it's really, why do we love these products? Why do we have this emotional response? What do they bring to us? So today we'll talk a lot about that in different aspects, and I'm really looking forward to speakers today and hearing what they have to say about products they love, and from you guys who have all been prompted before to to show up today and be willing to share about your experience with the Women in Product Club and why you love it, why you're here, and what it's done for you. So without further ado, I'm also going to start this meeting with a toast. So Tanya, if you could also pin the timer for today, we're going to start with that.
And the timer is, I'm looking for there we are.
Is Samoya.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
There we go.
So everybody get your glasses ready. This is a 3 to 4 minute. You are muted. I think you're asking a question.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was asking to ask if this is, never mind. I just feel like I've never timed a Toastmaster.
That's okay.
Cool.
This is a different, the length is totally different from the regular.
I'll set a timer. Okay.
All right. Let me find. Okay. Hello, fellow Women in Product Toastmasters. Thank you for coming today to celebrate our club anniversary. I hope that you all came prepared for the toast. These last two speeches have been a really fun opportunity for me to try something new. I've never written or delivered toasts before, and this is really fun. So did you know that if you Google how to toast a club, you'll get a ton of club sandwich recipes? As we talk about favorite products today, I would definitely say that Google search is one of my favorites, both for what it's intended for and for its unintended humorous uses as well. But it's not a close comparison to my favorite product of them all, this club. Our vision is to empower every woman's voice at the table, and I truly hope that you find empowerment through your time here. I've grown and watched others grow in ways that we had not expected and faster than we had imagined, and it's been an honor and a blessing. When I see all of the beautiful colors of your backgrounds, it reminds me of the many ways in which this club is beautifully diverse and each member that's uniquely gifted. All of you have something very special to give to the world, something very special to grow into. And I hope that the club helps you along that journey. The club's journey has been quite fantastic. And I gathered a list of accomplishments to share with you today in celebration of what we've done this past year together. And I might not get through all of it because it's actually a very long list, but I'll share the entire list so you can see afterwards. In terms of recruitment, we have a Facebook group that is 770 members large, and we're not even promoting it whatsoever. We've had so many club meeting guests and 3 open houses, including a very successful Women in Product Conference Roundtable. It's super fun. In terms of membership, we started with 23 charter members, which is quite impressive. The current members are at 27, with total applications processed at 45. Very, very impressive. For education goals, we've had 26 meetings. 26 of you are signed up for Pathways. We've had so many icebreakers, 4 level 1 completions, and we're on our way to a number of level 2 completions, which is awesome for year 1, everybody. Your leaders are super active and working for you in the background. We've attended 2 national and district meetings. We've had 2 club surveys, and all officers are always on top of trainings whenever they're made available to us. For awards, we earned not only the April, but also the June, the District 101 Vibrant Club of the Month. We've met open house challenges, beat the clock challenges, lucky 7 training challenges, not once, but twice. And there are so many extra activities that the club has been offering. We have a Toastmasters mentoring program with 11 participants. We've had a member of the leadership team on the Women in Product Conference Committee, our first Women in Product Club speaker, a podcast interview, happy hours, wonderful interview prep sessions, and there is so much more in store for the next year. So dear Women in Product Toastmaster Club members, congratulations. Can't see my juice here, but congratulations on a wildly successful year 1. Here's to beginning another successful year together. So to you. All right. So now I'm going to introduce our guests and also run us through the rest of the meeting as well. Okay. So dear guests, I'm really trying to figure out, I don't know why I can't see anybody today because I'm not in Zoom. This is not the first time I've used Zoom, I promise you. Guests, thank you for joining us today. I'd like you to say hi and maybe share something that you want to celebrate for yourself since we're in celebration mode today. Let's see, Priyanka, would you like to say hello?
Hi, I'm sorry, I have my video off because my background, my daughter is in and out, so. But hi, I am Priyanka, and this is my second time. I was actually at your meeting a few months ago, but I was really impressed, and I've been meaning to come back. So I thought I'll just attend another time as a guest, and I am leaning towards like joining. I'm gonna say, you guys are, you know, such a great group, and I would be fortunate to be a part of this beautiful community and group. So thank you so much for having me here. Currently, so I'm an earlier career PM, and I come from a customer advocacy, data analytics, strategy, and most recently like product management background. So like very early career PM. And I have been interviewing, and one of the feedbacks that I've got, I'm going to say, recently a hiring manager, I mean, she was just awesome, and she was from Women in Product, and she gave me advice and feedback. So I am really trying to like hone my structured thinking and gain that confidence. So yeah, that's why I am here, and I hope I can, you know, really benefit and learn from you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
And congratulations, yeah, to everyone.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us again. Hope you enjoyed today as well, and that you decide to join us. Sounds like it would be great.
Thank you.
Let's see. Sina is a future, she's going to be joining us. Would you like to say hi one more time?
Sure. So, hi, everyone. This is my second time. Also, I did the last one. And what's a better time to join than the celebration, right? So I'm here raising a toast for all of you. You guys have made a really like, you know, ways ahead. So glad to be here. Yeah.
Very excited that you'll be joining us, Sina. Do we have any other guests? Okay. All right. So next I'll introduce all the meeting roles, and actually ask you guys to each also let everybody know what you're going to be up to today and how you function in your role. So today's general evaluator is Jen Ginsberg. Jen, would you like to give a little description about what you'll be up to today?
Yeah, so as the general evaluator, I'm looking across the entire meeting to see and provide feedback on how we can effectively run meetings going forward, and great things that we've been doing over time and celebrating those, and giving feedback to potentially my general functionaries as well.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Yep.
And just to introduce them, but you'll hear more from them later, are our evaluators, Rishu and Sheena. We look forward to hearing you later today. Grammarian, Amula, would you like to let us know what our word of the day is?
Thank you, Erica. As grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage, and I'll take note of any improper language, as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And I'll also be introducing the word of the day. So today's word of the day is commend, which means to praise formally or officially. A few examples of using this word are: his poetry was highly commended and admired by other writers. I commend you for your dedication to customers and creating experiences that they love. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will be giving the grammarian's report when called upon after the meeting for today. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. That's a great word for today. Okay, up next, we do not have a table topics master, because today we're going to all be sharing what our celebration is for us personally. And let's see, Paisley will be our vote counter for today. Paisley, would you like to?
Hi, yes. So I'll be the vote counter. Typically the vote counter will take a vote for favorite table topics answer. It looks like there's a special event for today's table topics. So I'm not sure what that will look like, but I'll be taking a vote of those answers from that section, and then announcing the winner for best answer.
Thank you so much, Paisley. All right, so now we'll jump into prepared speeches. Let's see. First up, we have Svetlana. Svetlana, you know, as our VP of membership. She is also senior PM at Axiom and facilitator of the interview prep club. Her speech today is titled, "If You Know, You Know." I love it. Her Pathways project is Presentation Mastery, and her project is Effective Body Language. Svetlana, looking forward to your speech today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. So growing up, the only sport I was involved in was wrestling and playing war with my brother. This was the 80s and the USSR after all. My big brother learned all kinds of martial arts, and he loved practicing it on and with me. But really, I was the little girl of the family, and my parents did not want me to get hurt. And so I was relegated and labeled as the studious one. So my sports were books and not exactly much more than that. Enter adolescence in New York City in the 90s. Who remembers Lucille Roberts? Anyone? Well, aerobics classes. That's what I remember. Aerobics classes, treadmills, and the stepper. Then followed running. I'd be holding a cassette player, then a CD player in my hand while wearing my cotton sweats and doing loops around a local park. Later, I discovered spinning. A lot of you know about this. And then rediscovered the bicycle. The cyclist high replicated the runner's high. And the spinner, the signature stationary bike that for indoor training, was at the top of my favorite product list for a while. The resistance feature, the flywheel, handlebars, pedals, simple, elegant, effective. When City Bike landed in New York in 2013, I was all over it. And then soon after that, I got my first bike as an adult. I am not exaggerating when I say that the bicycle changed me. I am a cliche. I'm not a unique person here. I'm not a unique story. The bicycle is one of these mystical products that tends to change people that it touches. The bicycle is freedom. It is free movement after that initial range of investment, but it is adventure. It is travel, exercise, exhilaration. It's good for the environment, the spirit, and anyone who loves a rush of air through their hair and a spring to the old heart rate. But this story is not only about the bicycle. It is about a product that has been an even more constant and transformative presence in my life. A tool that has truly enhanced my life on and off the bike. This story is about Strava. Strava, if you know, you know. But if you don't, it is a tool for exercise tracking, which incorporates social network features. It's mostly used for running and cycling using GPS data. It's a freemium model allowing you to access all kinds of great features for free and offers subscriptions for more complex capabilities. I have never before or since come across a product that better understands the essence of its customer. Without a doubt, there are many segments of Strava users. I've jumped across a few of these segments myself, as I've transformed over the last 7 years and continue to develop as a writer and a Strava user. But just to run through a few of these segments for you. There's the sometimes exerciser with 30 other fitness apps. They were referred by a friend, maybe they made a profile, and then they forgot about it for years. Or you have the non-competitive exerciser who hates stats and ranking and just wants to have fun. This is a freemium user, records under 10 activities a year. But its beating heart is the aspiring athlete, because the other segments cross over and cover a full range of people who have been running, cycling, swimming, or triathletes doing all three for years. Everyone from amateurs to professionals, avid runners and cyclists for whom their activities are hobbies, lifestyles, and a significant source of happiness, if not means of livelihoods. On Strava, as an aspiring athlete who has an intrinsic curiosity and just a little bit of a competitive spirit, having a literal world of information previously relegated to those who had the means to have coaches or teams, now opens up to you on an accessible platform. This is astonishing. Apart from wanting to get better at your chosen activity, if you like to use that activity in conjunction with passions such as travel and adventure, Strava connects that world too. Let me make this real for you. You like riding your bike and you like traveling? Hit explore and bicycle routes created by local riders with navigation built in are there for you to use. It's free, you're independent as you want to be, it's vetted, and it's reliable. Or you use your activity for exercise and you like to track your improvement. There are many devices that can track your activity, but what else can it tell you? Does it teach you anything? What does good look like? What does very good look like? And this brings me to what Strava is not. My hot take is this. If you've ever seen or even thought of a pair of leggings, you will be abundantly familiar with how social media defines and depicts fitness. You've seen the butts, the abs, and the weights and the poses, right? You've seen the brands and the fitfluencers in full fitness model mode talking to the void about self-acceptance. Were you motivated and inspired? Strava users can and absolutely do share photos, but they are abundantly those of the roads, the trails, the teams, and the selfies of people trying, discovering, pushing, and sometimes stopping to capture the pure elation that they're feeling doing the thing that they love. The engaged users on Strava are not inspired by their chosen, are not just as inspired by their chosen networks of athletes, but they are informed. You can see basic or in-depth data about pace, effort, duration, terrain that helps you calibrate your own efforts. You know when you've reached a plateau. You get to know how you compare to a full spectrum of diverse people doing the very thing you're doing. Some explain their training. This gives less experienced athletes insight into drills and training programs. The community supports and celebrates your efforts because the culture of sportsmanship, something I never got to experience growing up until Strava, permeates the platform. Something I commend Strava for nourishing. And so that is what its engaged users do. See, Strava is Swedish for strive, and striving to incrementally get better at the sport that they love, while drawing on the experience, expertise, and knowledge of its network of advanced athletes, helps users do just that. My journey across running, spinning, and cycling has not only persisted, but developed me as an ambitious person and athlete that any of these products alone would not have accomplished. Strava has extensive tools for privacy and safety, and there simply isn't enough time for me to cover and everything and say everything I want to about this product. But it has been a pillar for me for the last 7 years, and I can't wait to see what they build next. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Svetlana. I am not at all surprised of your favorite product at all. And I do have to say, every time I see a photograph of you on Facebook on your cycle, you are so happy. You really do love it. Thank you for that introduction to Strava as well. Up next, we have Sarah. Where's Sarah? Oh my, I can't find people. Is she here? She's here, right? There she is. Okay, there you are. Lost in the weeds. Sarah is a senior PM at City of Phoenix. And I love the quote that you have on your LinkedIn because it is perfect for today. What she loves most about building products is unveiling unique solutions to customers' pain points. That's perfect for today. Today, her speech is titled Lessons in Leadership. This is she's in the Visionary Communication Pathway, and this is her Level 2 Understanding Your Leadership Style project. Without further ado, Sarah.
Imagine, if you will, a small office about the size of a closet with black closed blinds on the windows. Inside this tiny office is a metal desk pushed up against a bookcase with just enough room to squeeze around the edge of the desk to get to one guest chair that had about 3 inches sawed off its wooden legs. I didn't have to imagine it. I was there. It was one of my first jobs. My new manager leaned across his desk, peered down at me over the top of his reading glasses, and there I was, looking up at him about eye level to the top of his desk. Behind him on the wall was a poster, "The Rules." Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, just like products we love, there are also leadership styles that we do and do not resonate with. As humans, we tend to categorize people, things, and leadership styles into good or bad. Such was the case with a different manager that I had at a different company. She held her one-on-one meetings at a round table, and her office was always open. And she would not ask her team to do anything that she would not personally do herself. Leadership by example. And on her wall was a poster of the rules, but those were based on Dr. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective Managers. This project assignment that I've had with Toastmasters led me to wonder about my style. So I took the questionnaire that was part of the Toastmaster manual, and I learned that I have 2 styles that are in equal with scoring: democratic and innovative. On reflection, I realized, well, that makes total sense. As a product owner, I gained consensus with cross-functional teams, built collaboration, and encouraged team contributions. That's democratic leadership style. As a product manager, I build a vision of the future, solve complex problems with my team, and promote my team's creativity. That's innovative leadership style. But what about the other styles identified in the project assessment? I use quite a number of those too. My theory is, as product leaders, we are like bamboo. Our roots, our foundation, they're strong. And as we work with cross-functional teams, sometimes irate customers, and an occasional difficult stakeholder or two, it requires us to bend with the wind without breaking. And that's why I believe emotional intelligence plays a huge role in which leadership style we dust off and wear for that day. In an article in Harvard Health, which is published by the Harvard Medical School, it states that there are 4 key elements of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and conflict management skills. I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like product management and the awareness that we need to build on how best to work with others to deliver a product or a service. So as someone with democratic and innovative leadership styles, I've learned to integrate what I have in common with my teammates, my customers, and my stakeholders. It can be a beloved sports team, a product we love, a favorite food, or even commiserating over commuter traffic. It shows that I listen to what matters to them. And I use that to find one thing and use it to build common ground. I've also learned to integrate strengths from the other leadership styles into my own, because from what I learned in this assignment, there is no good or bad style. In closing, leadership and its associated styles are not just reserved for the boardroom. going back to my opening example of the manager who peered down at me while my chair seemed to sink into the floor, my first impression, it proved true. However, I eventually learned what motivated him, what goals were most important to him, and how to best work within his rules. And I earned his commendation, getting promoted twice within my 5 years in that department. So I became the bamboo. I bent my style to fit the situation. And I believe that's the essence of learning to work with any leadership style that's different from our own. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was really beautiful. I really like that. I forgot the little short question and answer sessions that we're supposed to have following speakers. So I'm going to open it up to questions for Sarah. If anybody would like to ask Sarah a question. So we'll do that let's do 3 minutes. Do Sarah for 3 minutes and then go back to Svetlana for 3 minutes as well. So, all right, who has a question for Sarah?
I have a question. How did you come to realize that your leadership style was democratic and innovative?
Thank you for that question, Sorima. Within that particular assignment at Toastmasters, it runs you through an online questionnaire, and it asks several questions, walks you through almost like a wizard as far as, if you're in this type of situation, how would you react? And I believe, if I remember correctly, because I did take the questionnaire about a month ago, so it provides probably about 5 to 7 different choices. And at the end, it gives you a whole rundown of what your highest traits are, what your highest your highest scores are, and what they relate to. And then in your Toastmaster manual, you can go back and it gives a definition of what that particular leadership style is. Again, it's neither bad nor good, but it actually was a very good example or exercise to not only understand my leadership style, but maybe others that I work with, and pick out certain aspects of their leadership style that I can then incorporate into my own. So it could be everything from, say you're working with a person who is very relegated to the rules, as was my first example. For a leadership style like that, again, it would be almost in direct opposite to mine. However, there are aspects to that, such as knowing that the rules are really important. You have to keep within these boundaries. So one thing it would be to moderate my communication style so that I would give this person weekly updates on where I am, and give this person the idea that I am following the rules, but still giving myself leeway of being able to work outside of the lines. So it's a very good lesson in Toastmasters, and having followed the program before, I don't remember this leadership style module as part of the program. So I was pleasantly surprised. I learned a lot from it. Thank you for the question.
Nice, thank you. We're also out of time, sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, next up we'll do Svetlana. 3 minutes for Svetlana. Who would like to ask? Who has a burning question for Svetlana?
I can ask one. So my question is, so usually products typically capture people based on some sort of hook. So for you, how has your app Strava actually hooked you on in terms of like making sure you get into a habit? What's the variable reward that you typically get out of that?
So the variable reward, I would say, is twofold. One is you're using it to see your results, right? You can run as much as you want. I mean, as I said, I used to just do loops and loops and loops and loops for years, right? But I had nothing to compare it to or against, right? So one thing that happens when you're using it is that you're seeing your own results, and it tells you, like, relatively among your efforts how good your effort was on this given day. And then the second sort of stream of variable rewards is your network. So whoever you're following, whatever athletes or friends you're following, you're always seeing what they may have done that day or in the last few days, or what they haven't done. And it's a platform that does not necessarily lend itself to having like hundreds of kind of meaningless connections. You really tend to follow either people you know or athletes that you just see all the time, because there's a feature that will let you know if both people have that feature on. And you may not know each other, but if you're running at about the same pace, they will tell you that, hey, this person was running with you. And, again, like, given their privacy settings, you can follow them basically, or request to follow them. And then you start to see what other people are doing. And so you build this knowledge base that it forms over time, where you start to realize what does good look like? Like, what do runners who do this regularly, how fast or slow are they running? What are they doing with their runs? Like, how are they training? And you can find like verified professionals and see what they're doing. That way you get to understand it, like, humbles you, but also inspires you to see that range of, like, what does a professional athlete do and what can you do to just incrementally, like, get a little bit better with time.
Any other questions for Svetlana? All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up and then we'll go on to our special table topics session for today. Thank you, Svetlana. All right, since we're in celebration mode, right? And it's super important to look back and think about our accomplishments over the past year. And if you do it weekly, I would highly suggest you do it weekly, because for me, I found it really transformative in how I show up and start my next week. But I would like to take a moment for everybody to share. We'll kind of do it like a table topics, 2 to 3 minutes for each person. And ask you what did you accomplish with Toastmasters over the past year? I know some of you are new to the club, but deciding to invest in yourself and your growth is a great accomplishment. So you could share that part of your journey as well. But yeah, I thought today, let's celebrate. Let's talk about what great, we've done over the past year together and individually. So I'm going to start with Rosie. Rosie, would you like to start us off today?
Yeah, something's going on with my video. It was freezing. I'll try it again. Yeah, so one of the things that I want to celebrate this year is becoming more, and I'm freezing, right? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You are frozen, but we can hear you. And you're smiling, so that's a good freeze.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so one of the things I want to celebrate as part of Toastmasters is practicing more of my speaking skills, right? So in the last year, I've noticed that I've improved significantly in the way that I kind of speak, but also take more pauses in terms of like thinking and making sure that I'm articulating what I want to say. Not doing the best example in this case right now, but overall, I've noticed that there's been more of an improvement, especially at work. I know some of you guys know that I do like the Instagram lives for one of the projects that I run on the side. And I've noticed that I've been getting better in terms of asking questions and also reading people in terms of what they're saying when they speak. And I think knowing that I get nervous when I'm speaking has helped me also moderate those, making people feel a little bit more comfortable as we go through the speeches. So I've taken a lot in terms of my own personal learnings here, but also like hearing everything that you all are going through at work and some of your past barriers. I hope to be as amazing as you all are when I do get to product. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Swaya, are you timing?
I'm not. I was not trained. I didn't know we were timing.
Oh yeah, if we go ahead and time, I think we'll because I know a lot of us have a lot to share, so we go over too. All right, let's see. Who doesn't have a role today? Monique, would you like to share your celebrations?
All right. Can y'all hear me? So I guess for myself, I would say I've gotten through Toastmasters without being a Toastmaster up until last meeting. So I would say that was an accomplishment for me because it is a lot of work, as I see, just trying to keep the meeting going along. But I think it was a great experience. And I feel like over this past year, as I've been doing Toastmasters, I'm still working on my filler words and things like that, but I think I've improved a lot and I've been more mindful. So I really appreciate everything that I've been learning from Toastmasters. I also would say that just being part of a product management community outside of work and hearing all the experiences that everyone's been having and seeing that I'm not alone and that it's not like, oh, this is one thing that happens to me, to have that community I've really enjoyed. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Monique. Oops. All right, who would like to go next? Marguerite. Would you like to go next?
Hello. Yes, sure. Sorry, I'm not on camera today. Not in my normal location. So what I'd like to celebrate for the past sort of 6 months or so being as part of this Toastmasters group is the whole process. I've done 2 speeches. I've been Toastmaster, and just the whole process of getting reps in terms of writing, organizing my thoughts, and then presenting. Especially during COVID and working remotely for the past 5 years, I realized I wasn't really talking to people unless it was directly related to work or reaching out, connecting with my close friends or family. And you can definitely get into speaking in shorthand when you're talking to people you're close to, or small groups of people that you work with. So just becoming more comfortable and varied in the ways that I communicate, more comfortable, when I make mistakes in conversations and moving past those things. Definitely get throughout my career, I've always been someone, who's a bit shy, and gets to sort of the deer in the headlights moment, no matter how much I know about what I'm being asked about. So I've definitely gotten stronger muscles in terms of being able to get past those moments. And I dread speaking to people that I don't know a lot less than I did before. And I also wanted to second what Monique said in terms of just having the community and listening to the experiences of other women in product. It's really just wonderful to hear that everyone has sort of, I can relate to so many of your experiences. It's good to know we're out there and I appreciate everyone's support.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing, Marguerite. Okay, who would like to go next? I could also, for table topics, we also ask our guests to share a little bit. So I might call on you guys to, if you have something over the past year that you want to share with us that you're proud of. I know it's not related to Toastmasters and our celebration that we're having today, but still worth sharing and get to know you a little bit more as well. All right, let's see. Jennifer, would you like to share?
So I think about, I'm one of the original members for this club, and I think about how far we have really come in this past year. You know, we started out this club with just a group of women, kind of heard about it on Facebook, didn't really know what it was going to be. There were a number of leaders here today and original members, like Tanya also being one of them, that came together and just decided, hey, you know what, this seems like it could be a good idea. We all fundamentally know that as product managers in the product space, how important effective communication is and being able to convey our ideas. And so one of the things that I think this leadership team really came back to is, if we're thinking about our club as the product itself, what can we do to be able to bring every woman's voice to the table? And one of the things I'm most proud of, and I feel like from an accomplishment perspective, is really making something from nothing. And I attribute a lot of that to Erica's leadership, to all of the people here who come in on these every other Sundays to help support each other. And that's such a huge accomplishment for each and every one of us, because that's the kind of things that, you know, it's often really hard to have a group of women who don't know each other, who are brought together by a common thread. So I'm really, really proud of, it's not really my accomplishment. I'm thinking more of like the accomplishments of everyone collectively together. Oh, back to you, Erica. Sorry.
I was trying to find my unmute button. It's at the same spot every time, but I still have trouble finding it. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I very much, I feel a lot the same way. Thank you. And thank you for being one of those people that have made those so successful. Sina, I would like to invite you to the podium spotlight.
Okay, so yeah, so for this year, I think since COVID hit, it's been a journey on self-evaluation, figuring out what I want to do and all that. So I need to remind myself every time that today is better than yesterday. So in the whole process. So I also want to comment this team, because as Jennifer said, it takes the whole team. It's not like you all have roles, small and big. You have made it to 1 year. It's still 18 people on this call on a Sunday morning or an afternoon. So a great job on that. It takes a whole village, as they say, on what the future is and what it can become. So really proud of this group. And as Monique was telling, like this, I feel like we all go through similar challenges in life. So it's good to hear from others how they are growing and also help each other grow. So this community, I felt in the last meeting too, and I'm feeling that whole same vibe in this meeting also. So thank you for all the efforts. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sina. All right, let's see who else. We have a lot of time to share today, so I'm going to call on one of our evaluators, Inrisha, would you like to share?
Absolutely. For me, it's really been exciting to be able to connect across the globe. I actually sit in India. I've worked in the US, and one of the main things that I wanted to do was basically understand what peers and seniors in my field were doing across the globe in terms of product management. And this is amazing. This is a forum that lets me not only learn from you, but also connect on a personal level, and basically even present my problems and have you give feedback. Having given 2 speeches and preparing to give the next speech in the next meeting, what I mainly learned, and I'm hoping to demonstrate that I improved on, is structure of a speech. Before, it was all about kind of like, just throwing the content out there. But what I realized is it's like an onion. It's like a perfect story always has a beginning, a middle, and then a lesson at the end. And that's what I hope that I have also started to display when I work with other people and talk when I'm at the job. Other than that, I'm super lucky to have had the opportunity to work with our leaders, and I learned this club has kind of been like a product for me in terms of PR, and I'm hoping to execute some amazing things or ideas that may help the club further. So this is my way of further honing my product management skills as well. So it's impacted me in multiple ways. And so thank you so much for this opportunity, Erica, and all the leaders who are part of the club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anamisha. All right, let's see. Who would like to go next? Because there's time for everybody, so I'm going to call on everybody eventually.
You can go, Erica.
Okay.
This is Paisley, by the way. As an associate product manager, there's a lot that I don't know about the product management role. And when I first came into one of the first meetings for women in product Toastmasters, I felt like I had a bit of imposter syndrome. I know that's kind of a buzzword, but there was a lot of words I didn't know. I remember there was one meeting where someone had a table topics where they had to talk about the difference between product strategy and product vision. And I was like, I understand all those words separately, but I don't know those terms and how they are relevant to the role. So I've been learning a lot about those individual pieces from everyone. And also I've been learning a lot about confidence on speaking about things that I don't know that much about. And I think those are 2 areas where I've really grown, and watching everyone speak about their roles at individual different companies has been really helpful for me in that aspect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paisley. All right, let's see. Richu, would you like to go?
Definitely. So there's one way that I'd put it, right? For me, growing up, I realized that there is so much more to learn from people. And so my natural instinct was to ask for feedback, ask for advice. And something that I have absolutely enjoyed in this Toastmasters group is I don't have to ask, but there's just so much personal progress information that's being shared that every time I'm in a session, I add it to something that I call very personal to me, that I call catalog of perspectives. So I just keep adding and adding, and there's so many references that I can pull out of, which are for either for my growth or for sharing with someone else to use as an example, or to maybe go back and reach out to them and ask more, right? If I ever have to run into that situation. So it's been incredibly informative, supportive, and yeah, I've loved being here every time I have. So thank you for having me, and thank you for actually bringing this group together, Erica, Laurie, Svetlana, and the other entire team of leaders. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Risha. Who would like to go next?
I would
Elena.
definitely- wow.
Yeah. Elena?
So I definitely agree with everyone here today. First, it's the sense of the community for me is huge. It's definitely feels very homey, comfortable, and nice to be here every other Sunday, to be supported by everyone and you, and to receive constructive feedback that can make me better. And something I wanted to mention, and I hope everyone can relate as well. This group taught me mindfulness, and I'll explain what I mean. Now when I'm listening to other people's speeches, I can hear how many ums and ems they said, how many repeats they had. And I always have this little, yeah, I should remember not to do that because that's annoying. On the other hand, when I hear a brilliant speech, I always try to have some takeaways from that as well. I can always pay attention to the pace or the pauses the speaker made, or some interesting examples from their personal life, the storytelling that we're all trying to master here. It's such an interesting skill that we're all learning here, to be in the moment and to really absorb and to really try to understand what this person's trying to convey, what is the message and what's behind that speech, how much time it probably took them to put it together. A lot, right? We all know that by now. It all sounds so easy, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh my God, I just spent 3 hours practicing. So this is something that I learned here, and I'm really grateful for that. It gives other people perspectives and also teaches mindfulness, how to listen to other people's speech, not only to improve my own, which is great, but also to understand where they're coming from when they say that and how much effort they put into it. So that's just my celebration today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena. I think I'm unmuted. Okay, who would like to go next? Svetlana.
I'll go because I feel very inspired, especially by the last two speakers. There are so many things, right? Erica started us off with a list of data points that we can all tout as, points of pride. But what occurs to me as something I'm grateful for and also proud of is also something that sort of crosses that personal and professional divide, which is before this club, for longer than I would like to admit, but for a significant chunk of time, I was really kind of thrashing or finding myself thrashing internally around this concept of mentorship and how I felt I didn't have enough mentors or a mentor to begin with, and was kind of scratching at every resource I could find to look for and hope for a mentor. And of all the different places and workshops and webinars and conferences that I participated in, and all those sort of resources that I was looking at, I would say that's something I've learned and am proud of here is that I think I finally have calmed down and realized that everyone in this community that we have grown and nourished is a mentor. And I myself am now a mentor. And by having some of these conversations with, many of you individually and together, it's been incredibly illuminating to realize that my own experiences are worth sharing, right? And I have so much to learn from all of you. And we, as a group, as a team, have so much to learn from each other and can really, truly rely on each other. And this has come up, obviously, in multiple people's responses, but really we can all access each other. And I think most of us, most of the time, will make the time to offer advice and to offer, whatever resources we're aware of to everyone else. And so that's just something that is invaluable to me. And I'm proud to now say that I am a mentor and you all are mentors to me, whether you like it or not. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Svetlana. I really relate to that, actually, not feeling like I could find mentors at all. And then I've learned so much from each of the leaders. So I know table topics leader isn't supposed to speak, but I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit because I've been inspired by Svetlana. Before starting Toastmasters, I was in the same space. I was so frustrated. I couldn't find mentorship. Nobody was teaching me. I had terrible bosses who did not have great leadership skills at all. And that's who I had been learning leadership from for a very long time. But I knew kind of what leader I wanted to be in my heart. Like, I want to work with people, bring people together, create a place where people can thrive, that they feel safe, because that's what I wanted. I didn't necessarily know how to get there. And yeah, like Svetlana said, like, I found so many of you guys are, I learned from all the time. I see how you react to situations. All of you are super kind and thoughtful and look out for each other. And I'm getting choked up, but I couldn't ask for a better group of people to come to every Sunday. Like, I can be having the worst weekend ever, spend a couple hours with you guys and be like, oh, feel so much better. And then this weekend in particular has been really special for me, not just because we're celebrating, but yeah, okay, I'm not gonna tear up. But the one thing that I've learned from, our club mentors, so Raji's here today, and I didn't get to say, welcome and thank you to Raji at the beginning. So now's a perfect time. Raji and Rita helped us. None of us were Toastmasters, and we started a Toastmaster club. That was crazy. We're all like, what do these roles do? Nobody knows. How do we lead a club? How do you recruit somebody? Like, everything was brand new. And we were, trying to define a vision and get people excited about joining a club, and we really didn't know quite anything. We're still learning. But what I learned from Raji and Rita was, you can figure it out. Toastmasters look like they know everything. They do not. They just figure it out, and they figure it out together. So I want to say a special thank you to Raji and all the leaders of the club, and all of you that are going to be leaders soon. And I'm not going to cry because I'm going to let somebody else go. I would like to go next. Anybody? Tanya, let's you want to go?
Yeah, I was just trying to unmute myself, and now I've got to here, I'll take the spotlight off you, Erica. So yeah, there you go. And sorry, folks. Now I got to spotlight myself. Hold on. I don't know how to do this. There we go. Okay. So I think back a year, and I'm not sure how many of you were here for my very first speech, but let's just say that the anxiety I felt before that speech, it took over for, I want to say 2-3 weeks leading up to it. So, you sign up, you say, I'm gonna do a speech, and then you think about it forever. I practiced in front of my family. I practiced, and I felt like I had it together. but that first speech, I was so nervous, and everybody was so welcoming. And I remember, I think Rita was my evaluator, and I'm not going to get choked up, Erica, thank you very much. But she really made me feel welcome, and that there's nothing to be nervous about. We're all friends here. And so from there, this past year, I have learned a lot of different things that, I've had a very long career, and it's you're never too old to learn new tricks, let's just say. And I now, no matter the presentation, no matter the speech, no matter the meeting that, let's say, I'm running, I will always have an agenda. I will always have, I always get prepared ahead of time. So any sort of, even if it's with my engineers or if it's with executives, I will do the same level of prep. I never really did that before. I always felt like I could wing it. I'm also not, and I think it goes with the being prepared part, is not as nervous, right? So the more you're prepared, the more, even if you have a few notes written down, you have to refer to them. It's all good. It helps with the nervousness. Also, I think it was my last speech, taking a pause, like being able to just pause and then collect your thoughts, is something that I've taken with me. But congrats to everybody on our year. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for all the support, and that is all I have. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you so much, Tanya. We have time for one more, so if there's anybody that would like to share that hasn't shared.
I can share really quickly.
Yes.
I think it's been a couple months since I've joined, but times has just flown by so quickly, and it's been an amazing experience so far. I remember even just as a guest being so impressed by the way everyone has conducted the meetings and the flow that we have and how smooth everything is, and just loving the safe space that we're able to create here. I historically have felt nervous about hearing feedback on my public speaking and not knowing how to react to certain comments, but here I know that whatever kind of comes my way, I can take it with a stride, and everyone is so kind with their feedback and responses, and everyone's so encouraging as well. And I feel so supported by each of you. And I look forward to more time that we get to spend together, and love what we get to do every other week with each other. Thank you all so much.
I would also like to quickly chime in.
Yes, please, Raji.
Mentoring this club was my first experience as a mentor as well. So it was a learning experience for me. And it was such a nice experience, especially working with Rita, because she brings with her so much experience and she has so many ideas. And as Erica rightly said, always you don't have to know what you got to do, but you can always figure out, and Toastmasters is perfectly the place for it. So I helped figure out a few things to the club, and the club helped me figure out a few things. So, and each time anywhere Women in Product Toastmasters is mentioned, it's like, oh, that's my baby somewhere, because I was associated with it when it just started out. And it makes me feel so proud that we are here today and growing in such a good rate. So really happy, and congratulations to all the members who made it happen, and really proud of the club.
I was hoping that siren was going to be gone by the time I had to unmute. I'm so glad you were able to join us today, Raji, and see everything that we've accomplished together. I think only one or two people didn't get to speak, and I think it's okay if we go ahead and let everybody speak, because we also have one less evaluation to do. So, would you like to share? I know you'll time.
Yeah, sure. I was so inspired by hearing everybody's speeches, and I could see snippets of myself in all of the journeys that you shared today. I felt very nervous for my first speech. I was not sure for the whole 1 week what I would talk about. And at the end, I think I sort of winged it. I feel like just the day before, I suddenly had this light bulb go on top of my head, and then I wrote down the speech. But after giving the speech, I felt more confident, and the group gave great feedback. And preparing for my last table topics was also very educational. It was great to hear everybody's perspectives, and I feel like I learned from this, the things that I learned from this community is so invaluable and something that I wouldn't get anywhere. Not just in terms of education, but also in terms of interpersonal communication and reacting to feedback, and just hearing everyone's stories. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about this group is a great supportive community that I look forward to coming to every Sunday, every other Sunday. That's it.
Thank you so much for sharing. There's two Jennifers on here. That's not you twice, Jennifer, is it?
No, it's not me twice.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the other Jennifer is.
I'm a guest.
No. Hi, Jennifer. Would you like to just say hi real quick?
Sure. This is my first meeting. I'm not currently working in product management, but it's something that I've been considering. I work in UX design and research. And yeah, I thought that this group would be helpful as I try and transition into product management.
I'm glad you found us today. Now you know all the benefits of Toastmasters.
Yes.
A very thorough overview today. All right, I think we got everybody, and I want to thank everybody for sharing and being
Can
here.
I go? I
Yes,
didn't get a
yes.
chance.
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, just a little bit about me. Like, I'm sort of a perfectionist, and that sort of, results in me being too caught up in the details. And even when I, attended the first meeting as a guest a few months ago, I just thought, like, you guys are so great, like great speakers, and I just need to, practice a little bit and like be perfect, to, match up to how you guys are, to the expectations you have, to the confidence you exude. But, today, just after listening to all your stories and just seeing, how inclusive and accessible, and not only that, but how kind and judgment-free, this community is, I'm like, it's okay. And, today, like, just as all of you are celebrating, like I am really celebrating that I took the plunge. I was going to make an excuse. I was going to write back to Svetlana. I was like, oh, I can't make it. But you know what? Today I was like, no, I have to make it. Especially, I've really gotten inspired by this book that I recently read. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read it over Thanksgiving, and it talks about, starting like small and just, doing it like one step at a time. So today I am just so proud to just, be a part of this community and just realize that it's okay if I don't know everything, but and I'm just here to learn and grow with all of you. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. That book has come up a number of times. I need to finally just get it and read it because everybody keeps telling me about it.
I actually I actually used Audible. So like over Thanksgiving, we were up in the wine country. And, even when I was out hiking with my daughter, so I was like tuning my husband, my daughter out, and I was just listening to the books. I was just able to finish it over like 3 days, but it is just amazing. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
All right, so That's the end of our celebrations. I'm going to hand it off to Jennifer. Yeah, celebrate. I'm going to hand it off to Jennifer to run the evaluation portion. Thank you, everybody, for sharing.
Okay, so yeah, thank you everybody for sharing. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'm looking at the agenda here. I just want to make sure I have this right. So our first speaker, who was Svetlana, will be evaluated by Richu. And then our second speaker, Sarah, I'm looking through the participants here. Is that going to still be evaluated by Paisley?
Sheena.
And then Anwesha, are you evaluating? I believe you're evaluating Erica's celebration speech. I think that's how it's supposed to go, but I just want to make sure I'm tracking that.
My role is the vote counter for this meeting. I was supposed to evaluate the second speech, but the second speaker that was planned is not able to make it this meeting. So I was preparing for the vote counter role as opposed to the evaluator 2 role.
Okay, so we might be short. Did anyone actually, was anyone assigned to the second speech, which in my mind, I know it's like kind of a weird sort of sequence here for
Sheena was.
did Sheena show up? I didn't see Sheena.
I had her marked off, but I messed that up. Wow, this is interesting. This was a first. Does anybody feel prepared to give an evaluation for Sarah? Okay, Sarah, so maybe I can give you an evaluation after the meeting. Is that okay? Is that acceptable?
Sure, I'd even be willing to do, I gave all my paperwork to Sheena, the evaluation form, but we could do like a round robin, maybe 3 people. If they just want to provide feedback, I'd appreciate that.
That is excellent.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to do a little feedback for you, Sarah, myself.
Same here.
Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick our evaluations off with our speaker evaluations. The first one being Richu. If you could, spotlighter, Tanya, could you spotlight Richu and Svetlana in our timer?
All right. So, Svetlana, I commend you for making this incredibly personal and exciting. I felt like I went on a journey from when you first laid eyes on an aerobics class to how you fell in love with the bike, and then how Strava really adds value to your life. So taking a page from, you know, this book of making it personal, this feedback is going to be very personal to me. So I'm sure there are other folks who think of it differently. So please take it with some zest at the same time, with a whole bucket of salt, I guess. So what your speech was not today. So it was not merely an advertisement or details of what Strava is or a bike can do for your, you know, for workouts and things like that, but it was truly about a product that you love. And it was an insight into how this product really makes you feel on a day-to-day. And most importantly, or rather critically, when we talk about products, why, right? So why do you really love it? And why would you recommend it to anybody else? So those are some things that I took away, and I absolutely love that. So your reference to personal growth with this product was very poignant. So self-acceptance, not merely restricted, or rather not merely kind of glorified by the social media, was very spot on. And it was more about really going on a personal journey as just a human being, part of the society, growing up. So that was one critical piece. The second piece to personal growth, which I found very motivating was watching from your peers and learning from your peers, being part of that community, taking inspiration from your peers, not just athletes, and connecting with them. So that was beautiful. The third one about, again, personal growth, which I saw a lot of in your speech today, was staying informed, right? What I call awareness, or what I put into this catalog of perspectives, is staying informed, like looking through others' journey and taking something out of their journey, and how Strava really adds value in all these three places: self-acceptance, motivation or inspiration from peers, and staying informed. So that was beautiful. I do have some things that I noticed as an audience, which I think could help you for your future. Referencing to notes is fine, and I personally do that, but you want to make sure that it adds to your body language. So when the notes is up on your screen, you have the opportunity to probably read or reference or pick up from points and add pauses there and so on and so forth. But when it's down on a book, then it can take away from your body language. And especially given today, you were trying to achieve really good body language as part of your pathway. So that was one thing that I definitely wanted to recommend. The other one was, there were so many takeaways throughout the speech: the culture of sportsmanship, anybody can be an athlete in their own right, and so on. But I felt like there could be a better takeaway in the end of the speech. So there's like a punchline that you add to the end of the speech. You can spend a few seconds, like 30 seconds to a minute, but that is something that I'd say I would have loved. Besides that, I think I have everything to go and join Strava now. So thank you for that. And thank you for taking us on a journey about how you've achieved personal growth through Strava.
Thank you so much. Super helpful.
Thank you for that evaluation, Ritu. So I guess for the second speech, which I'll call for Sarah, for the spotlighter, Tanya, could you please spotlight Sarah? And then I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of feedback. And then if there's anyone else that would like to volunteer, we can do that as well. So first of all, Sarah, great speech. I loved your opening in painting the picture with your words on, imagine yourself being in a small room. It really resonated, and I felt that tangible fear, if you will, of sinking into that first, into the chair, if you will. I liked that idea, how you told the story of different styles and comparing and contrasting the one individual with the list of rules behind, I think it was a hymn, and then the other person who had the list of, traits and things that they valued from Dale Carnegie. So I thought, and then layering on understanding and discovering your own personal style. I thought the structure was good. Couple things to think about when you're presenting. Think about having a more conversational style. It flowed, you had like a good outline, if you will, but just in the delivery, just being a little more natural, a little more conversational. I think that would draw in people to your content a little bit more. The other thing that I thought was really great that I haven't seen a lot of people do was, one, you actually, I don't know if that's bamboo behind you, it might be bamboo, but you incorporated your background and how you were leaning and creating that visual of how product managers have that root, if you will, and how your style needs to bend depending on who your audience is, and you use your hand gestures and your body language to explain that. I'd love to see more. I saw that you did that. It's a great attempt, and it was a great use of just a lot of visual things. So good job on that. And I can't remember honestly if this was part of your post conversation, but I really enjoyed learning about how other people style, knowing how other people style, what it is, how that you can respond to that. So I enjoyed hearing that piece too. So overall, I really enjoyed your speech. Great job on the visuals, great job on telling the story and structuring your speech.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
You're welcome. And is there anybody else that would like to provide ad hoc feedback to Sarah?
I'll go ahead and just add a quick point. I really liked, Sarah, the imagery at the beginning of your speech, describing the dark room, and it really captivated me. So that was a really good, I guess, what's the word for this thing you put at the beginning of the speech that captures the audience's attention? I don't remember, but that was a good example of that. I just wanted to add that in here.
Thanks, Paisley.
All right, well, I'm gonna move us along if there's no one else. So the last evaluation that we're gonna have here is with Anwaisha. So Tanya, if you could spotlight Anwaisha, evaluator 3, and Erica.
Can I say how proud I am to be evaluating a toast in a Toastmasters club? It's like the ultimate, like living up to the name. And I really expected Erica to pull out a club sandwich when she was talking about toast with club sandwich. But the one thing that I really wished at that point of time is I wished I could watch your first icebreaker speech or your first inaugural speech as a president, because I can just imagine the growth that you have had over this entire year, right from the beginning. I can, like, while you were speaking, in normal speeches, people are nervous or people are thinking about content, but I felt like you were not giving a normal speech. I almost saw pride in your eyes, immense pride, immense emotion, and that's what captivated me throughout the speech. It was amazing to just not only feel proud with you because we are part of this entire club, but I'm sure, well, I'm guessing and trying to put myself in our guests' shoes, and I'm sure they would have felt the pride that was being conveyed through all your experience. And it was amazing to hear the facts that back it up. I really feel it is unfair for Toastmasters to keep 2 to 3 minutes for a speech like this, where I just want to spend more time understanding like all the amazing things that we have done throughout the year. And yet 2-3 minutes was not enough. Now, part of how I would have dealt with the situation is I realized that you tried to incorporate humor, but we may have lost a little bit of time there. If we could pull in a little time from there to talk more about accomplishments, or if we can do a session later on, maybe even put together a couple of sliders for everyone to see the amazing data that you collated, I think it's valuable. And all I can say is I'm immensely proud to be part of this club, and thank you for being one of my mentors here and letting me grow. And here's to us improving together and becoming amazing Toastmasters going forward. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for that evaluation. I'm going to move it on to our last 3 functionary reports. I do want to remind people, as part of our table topics, it was a little bit unconventional and different this time, where we had everybody kind of speak through about what they had accomplished this year or things that they learned that they're grateful for this club. If you could, I'm going to put a plug out there to remind people if they could please post who they thought had the best table topics conversation to Paisley. I will be asking for that vote at the end here. So just as a plug there, if you could please remember to just cast your vote to Paisley. All right, so the first person that I'd like to bring up to the table is our grammarian. Amalea, would you like to provide our grammarian report?
Sure. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. For today's grammarian report, I noted 3 individuals who used commend or a version of commend. I believe Sarah, Stina, and Richu. I apologize if I missed anyone else, but props on using our word of the day. I did not notice any blatant improper uses of grammar or any suggestions that I can kind of note there. So great job, everyone, on that. Some quotes or thoughts that I really loved hearing today. I enjoyed Svetlana and Anwesha having a conversation about variable rewards. Actually went and did a quick search on that and was interesting to find out more about that. So great job inserting that in there. And I also really liked Sarah hearing about democratic leadership and how you identified yourself as a democratic leader, and it was really interesting hearing about the different leadership styles that you presented in your speech. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Amalia. Next, I'd like to call on Elena, our awe counter. If you could give out your report as well.
Okay, bear with me. I have just 17 people to talk about, but I'll try to be fast. So first, Erica, we talked a lot today. So you have 6 plus ahs and 6 plus ums and didn't have any other filler words, which is great. Svetlana had 2 ahs, 5 ums, 1 like, and 2 repeats. Sarah had 2 ahs and 2 ums, 2 so's. Rosie only had 2 ums. Monique had 1 Margaret had 4 ahs. Jennifer Ginsburg had 1 1 Sina had 2 ahs, 2 ums, and 1 like. And Wesha had 2 ahs, 2 ums, 2 so's, and 1 like. Paisley had 2 ahs and 2 ums. Richu had 6 plus ums and 6 plus so's. Tanya had 4 ahs and 3 ums. I didn't catch any filler words for Amelia. Good job. Raji had only 1 little Soumya had 1 and 2 ums. Jennifer, who's the guest, had 1 and 6 plus ums. And Priyanka only had 1 End of the report.
Thank you for that, Elena. It was a big task this time with so many speakers, so thank you. And then next, I'd like to call on Samoya, who is our timer, to give us a timer report, please.
Yes, timing was a little bit unconventional for this meeting because we were sharing, everyone had different amount of content to share on table topics, as well as the speeches. For table topics, only 3 people went over time. Marguerite, just a little bit over time, 2 seconds. Tanya, you're 25 seconds over time. And Erica, you were 38 seconds over time, but you were speaking about a lot of different things. For the prepared speeches, Svetlana, you went over time. Your speech time was 8 minutes, 10 seconds. And for evaluations, the second evaluation went a little bit over time, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. And Rishi, your evaluation went to 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So.
Thank you for that report. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over. Wait, hold on. There's something a little bit funny about this. Oh, okay. I'm going to provide the general evaluation report. So a couple of things. One is I was really impressed with Tanya. She took on this spotlighter role with our Zoom situation for the first time, and I think she's realizing, and everybody should realize, that this is a tough role. So thank you for that, Tanya. We also started on time. We were able to get everybody with their functionary roles in the beginning. I also personally really enjoyed the unconventional nature of today's table topics. It was a special celebration type of meeting today. And that was, I really want to applaud people for just rolling with it and expressing the things that they've learned over the past year and what this club has brought to them. A couple of things that I would like to especially note for the general evaluation of the meeting itself. You know, this seemed like it was the first time we had a little bit of a role gap, if you will. So I appreciate that we were able to kind of roll with it, but I think next time going forward as a table topics master, try and make sure, as we're coming through in the very early parts, that everybody has actually been accounted for so that we don't have any gaps going forward. Thank you, Sarah, for just kind of rolling with that. And hopefully we can get you some more feedback later on. Also, I really appreciate the flexibility that everybody showed Samoya with the timing components, not knowing exactly how this was going to happen for the table topics, along with the counter and the grammarian. Thank you for your thorough reports. I know that also because of the unconventional nature of this meeting, we are a little bit over. So I think next time when we go and look back at the timings of the agenda items, there might be some work to be done, if you will, in terms of just the timing around some of the table topics and that initial upfront celebration speeches. The timing just was a little bit off from the agenda perspective. Again, this was our first time doing it this way, so I don't know if this is going to be the norm. It's probably not going to be the norm, but it was really a fun day today, right? And I really appreciated hearing from each and every one of the members. So that's my general evaluation report. I'm going to turn it back over to Erica, if you will, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for the evaluation today. And Jennifer, that was a great evaluation you gave for Sarah. So thank you so much for that. Where are we at today? So next we are onto the vote counter. So Paisley, would you like to tell us who had the great speech today?
Yes. So first of all, I want to commend everyone for participating in the table topics that was a little different today, and everyone got to participate. So it was great hearing everyone's feedback. The winner for the table topics best table topics award is actually a tie today between Svetlana and Jennifer G. So congrats, you guys. You guys did great. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Paisley. Next, I'm gonna, Jennifer is subbing in for Lori today with some VP of Education announcements.
Yeah, so I'm subbing in for Lori. So I just posted in here, and it's in the agenda itself. For next week's upcoming roles, you can go to that link. Couple of achievements and announcements that I wanted to also convey to people is congratulations to Tanya and Sarah. You completed your next level for your pathways. You guys have been super awesome at just proactively signing up. Like you mentioned, Tanya, it seems like you have that anxiety of signing up for more and more speeches. You guys kind of powered through it. You're taking it on, and I really commend you for making that next level in your pathways, because it does take proactive, put yourself out there, make an outline, sign up for those time slots, if you will. So just remember, once you've completed your speeches, be sure to mark it completed in your pathways. If you guys need help on understanding how to do that, feel free to reach out to Lori, myself, or any of the other leaders, or even within your peers. I know we have some mentors that have also joined as well in the mentee-mentor relationship. You can reach out to them as well if you're not understanding how to navigate the actual software. It's kind of a beast, if you will. So if you haven't signed up for a pathway, please do so as soon as possible. And you can just reach out again to any of the leaders or to Lori herself if you guys need help on how to do that. Okay. And then lastly, if you do want to sign up for a spot, there's a link right there in our agenda. You can go ahead and click on that and just be like Tanya, be like Sarah, be like many of the other Toastmasters here. Go ahead and sign up, take that leap to do another prepared speech. All right. And with that, I'll hand it over to Tanya to go ahead and just close this up.
All right, everyone. Great meeting. As your fill-in sergeant at arms, I am going to stop the recording and call it a day. So we'll see you guys in, stop recording.